and you imagine a new story. You imagine the most beautiful world. You are a bright star inside our hearts. I made this book because you and I are connected. And even though that might be hard to see, it is real. Real like the roots of trees and plants under the earth, sending each other signals and nourishment so that they can thrive together. I made this book because I have many questions. When we are wronged, how do we heal? How do we care for one another when we are apart? How do we love those we don't even know? I made this book to show you an amazing place on our planet called the Borderlands, harsh and beautiful, where Mexico and the United States meet. I made this book after Alfonso Valiente, scientist and desert expert, told me about bees, hummingbirds, bats, and other pollinators and seed spreaders that preserve the cycle of life of plants and animals at the borderlands. I made this book so I could bring you with me to the Sonoran Desert, where my friend Sergio Avila drove me to a no-border wall camping event in New Mexico, stopping along the way at fields full of colorful grasshoppers, creosote bushes, and riparian desert oases. I made this book to tell you the story of a white-tailed fawn following her mother to find water and food, things they need to survive. But this story is about all kinds of life at the borderlands. Some as tiny as the cyanobacteria, algae and fungi that form the desert crust, and some as gigantic as a 60-foot-tall saguaro cactus. I made this book because at the borderlands, fences and walls had been constructed to stop people from crossing into the United States. 100-year-old saguaros had been bulldozed. Paths animals regularly travel had been blocked by impenetrable barriers. These animals include Mexican gray wolves, pronghorn antelope, desert tortoises, Kino checker spot butterflies, bighorn sheep, cactus ferruginous pygmy owls, desert pupfish, ocelots, American bison, jaguars, and many more. I made this book because communities had been affected too. Archaeological sites, homes, and sacred places stand in the path of a border wall. The Tohono O'odham Nation, people of the desert, has lived here for many generations, yet now a security fence prevents them from crossing freely into their own land on the other side of the border. I made this book knowing that children everywhere, but especially migrant children at the borderlands, have experienced things that they should never have to endure. I began writing Bright Star in the spring of 2019. I saw how people, sometimes walking in caravans, reached the border with the hope of entering the United States. Many of these people were families with children. Some were children traveling alone. Few were able to enter, and when they did, often crossing the border at places like the one you see in this book, they were detained. Families were separated, and many adults were sent back to their countries of origin without their children. It is possible you saw this too. It is possible you were one of those children. I started the final art for this book on March 13, 2020, just as the spread of the COVID-19